Merry meet everybody. I'm Beverly Crowder, the Whimsical Eclectism Witch, and today we are going to be doing something completely new. I went ahead and I bought some new filming equipment. Um, it's just a small upgrade, and I wanted to try it out today. Well, tonight. So, what we are going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to explain a little bit about the different items and the type of magic that we are going to be using today in this crochet tutorial. Um, I ended up getting the idea of incorporating a little bit more in to my practices by the book and videos of Fiber Magick that I have found. Um, it's taught me quite a bit, but I have adapted it a bit to where it fits into my personal magical practices. Those are, well, that is Eclectic Magic Practitioner Spiritualism. And if you have been to my Etsy shop, Magically Eclectic LLC, you would notice that currently I only have one digital download available. Okay. I'm sorry. I have to keep my glasses on, so there's going to be a slight glare. I apologize for that. But you'll notice that all the physical items have been deactivated. The reason for that is because I am going through and I redid the sections and I'm redoing each of the items in order to try and get it to where it is a bit more reflective of my magical path and my magical practices. And because of the way my magical path is, eclectic magic as well as spiritualism, that means that it is extremely adaptive. So regardless of whether or not you are of one of the mainstream magical practices or mainstream witch, like Gardnerian or Alexandrian, however you want to put it, my magical items are going to be able to be adapted into your own practices. Today, what we are doing is we are going to make a roughly 6-inch by 6-inch washcloth, and we are going to be doing it using single crochet. The way that I'm adapting it is I'm not using the specific stitches, types of crochet stitches to represent something specific. I'm using intent and color magic and representation. So later on, I will go through and I'll explain a little bit more about my magical practices and how I've adapted each thing into my own. I'll explain a little bit more about what my, a little bit more in depth about what my practices actually are. If you are curious at all at any point, I do have a Patreon, and there are a few free articles in there that I have written that are a little bit more about what eclectic magical spiritualism is. So, without further ado, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to get everything set up and we're going to get started on this tutorial. So, I'm going to pause the video and switch it over to the new view. to speed it up and I can't. Oh my goodness, it did not pause. I apologize for that, guys. I did not realize that it did not pause. All right. Go ahead to 18 rows and I will see you when you get to that point. Okay, everybody, I decided to come on at roughly the halfway point so I can show you what the progress is. You can kind of see that we've got a slight wave over here on the edges. That's okay. Like I said, we're going to be putting on an edge. Down here, you can kind of see that it's almost as if it's already edged because this is our starter chain. And we've got about the same kind of waviness type deal over here. Some people say that this would mean that I'm doing it wrong. Others would say that it's no big deal. I'm kind of in the no big deal category. I don't find anything wrong with it. I think it gives a really good, I guess you could say, character to it, even though it's just a small washcloth. Coincidentally, the small washcloth in this size could actually technically be used as a coaster as well. So if you end up wanting to make them squared out as a coaster, then this would be the perfect way to go about and do it. Excuse me, as you can see, we are roughly about halfway there. We are using red because, well, not only is it a common color for Yule, also mainly known as Christmas, but it could be used to represent love, passion, fire. You know, it could give just that little extra oomph. And depending on what red represents for you and what you're using it for, it would end up being incorporated into your work here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this up until I get up to row 18. As you can kind of see, like I said, this is the starter. You can tell that this halfway point right here, as far as this line, that shows you the difference between the different rows. So you'll be able to tell exactly how many stitches you have or how many rows you have. So we got the starter chain down here of 18 with the next row here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. When I get back up to where I have a total of 18, I will show you what it looks like. And alternatively, you're able to go ahead and just kind of eyeball it and put it however you choose. So again, I will let you go and I will see you at row 18. Okay, I have just reached row 18. As you can see, it's pretty well square. I'm happy with it. I'm just using the heat of my hands in order to go through and flatten it down a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work on the edging. So grab everything. We're going to chain one, but that's going to kind of work like a slip stitch. And we're going to come back through over in here where we had put our last stitch at. We're just going to put our hook through, grab it, pull through, and that will give us our first chain on the side. Now we're just going to go through and we're going to try and stay as even as we can on the side. And we're just going to hit as many stitches as we can along the side in order to make sure that we're able to give it that nice clean edging look. So we're just going to single crochet all the way across. As you can see, what we've already done, it's cleaned it up very, very beautifully. And at this point, it even lines up with the top of that last row that we did. So we're going to continue doing this all the way around, just trying to stay as even as we can. And we're just going to single crochet all the way down. Now we've hit a corner, and this is where it's going to be somewhat interesting, because this is kind of how it would end up being for a granny square corner. Later on, you'll end up seeing what I mean by that when we end up doing a granny square tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in here. That's another chain, or another stitch in that same corner. Okay, so that's 2. Some do 3, sometimes I do 3 if the stitching is a little loose, but this time I'm only going to do 2. I'm going to chain 1, rotate it, and we're going to do 2 more single crochets in that same corner. And what that does is it creates the nice edging along that corner, and it kind of squares it out a little bit, as you can see. So we got 2 chains, or 2 chains. I apologize. We got 2 stitches here, a chain 1 in between, and then 2 stitches here. So chain 2, single crochet twice in the same stitch, chain 1, single crochet twice in the same stitch. Now we're going to continue along the bottom, pretty much along the lines of how we did it over here on the side, because this is us crocheting along our starter chain. And because it's our starter chain, it's going to be slightly difficult, so it's going to be kind of like the edging over on the side that we just finished. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, stay as even as you can. Just push through and single crochet. I like to go in between the stitches from the first row, because even though it pulls it apart a little bit right here, it still evens it out and makes it to where it's, the same around the entire edge. Artemis. Easy, honey. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's a good girl. Good girl. It's okay. Alright, now continue along. Apologize for that interlude, but my fur baby started shaking, and I don't like it when that happens, so I had to check on her and comfort her. And we're coming close to that beginning tail. I'll show you what we're going to do when we get up to that point. Okay, now we'll right along over here. I'm going to hold the tail still right along this edge, and I'm going to work over it so that it ends up being secured in the stitches. So just like the other corner, 1, 2, chain 1, rotate. Sometimes it doesn't like to cooperate. 1 and 2. Now that makes it to where we're able to continue along over on this side. And we're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on this side. And we're going to try and keep it as even as we can. Because if we aren't able to keep it even, then it could end up coming out a little wonky. So we're going to go through, grab our yarn, secure the tail, and work over that tail, pulling it once in a while so that we know for sure that it's secured underneath. If it ends up coming out at any point and you crochet without having it underneath, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can either weave it in like we're going to do at the very end, or you can go through and just snip it off. It's really your choice. It's your preference. Try not to get into the same stitch more than once until you get to the corner. Okay, and now right here is our corner, and this is technically the top of the very last row that we did before we decided that we were going to put on the edging. So what we're going to do now is we're going to treat this corner the exact same that we did for these, for the bottom ones. And remember, when we first started the edging, we just slip stitched and came down here. So this entire corner over here is not worked yet. So when we get over here, we're going to finish the corner working. So here's 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2, and we're going to continue across like normal. Pull some yarn out of the skein there. Okay, now we're here at the corner. You can kind of see that there's a few issues along over here, but after we fix the corner, then it should actually straighten out. So there was 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2, and not where we slip stitched, but that first chain, or that first chain, that first single crochet from after we slip stitched, we're going to find it and we're going to slip stitch right into it. We'll go through and we'll check it. Now sometimes we'll have this little thing right here. That's fine. It just means a small miscalculation. So what we do is we go through and we just take out a couple stitches. It's not a biggie. Come over. Go back over. We check it out. It actually looks decent. It looks like it's supposed to. So now what we do, remove our hook. Snip our yarn. Get the yarn out of the way along with the scissors. We're going to pull it through the loop. We're going to come over here, find where we pulled it through, slip our hook in, grab it, pull it right back through. That's 2 different spots that we pulled it through, and that's because it's going to give it a nice secured knot. Pull it tight. Now we're going to straighten it out just a little bit more again. Just kind of admire our work a little bit, so to speak. Now this is actually going to end up going in something similar that I had started. I designed a gift bag and I'm filling it with a bunch of stuff. So I will do something similar and we'll put that tutorial on here as well. Now we're going to take our yarn needle, put the yarn through the eye, and we're just going to go through and we're going to put it through in between right here. Bring that on in. And we're going to weave the ends in. Pardon me. We're going to do it a little bit at a time. Now, instead of snipping it here, We're going to go through on this side, just through one of them. Pull that through. And we're going to go back up on the other side, but we're going to bring it up underneath this one loop right here that we did not go through. And then we're going to take it all the way up. A little bit at a time. We got it secured. We're going to pull it just a little bit more so that it kind of bunches. Snip the yarn again. And we're going to straighten it back out. There you have it. We have a 6-inch washcloth that can also be used as a coaster. These are fairly fast to work up, and they make a great gift, whether it's for yourself or for someone else. I really hope that you enjoyed my first crochet tutorial and the small explanations on Magick and how it is able to be used while creating something like this. If you have any questions, comments, any tips, tricks that you would like to share, please put that in the description box, in the comment boxes below. Sorry, I haven't been at the top of my game lately, so to speak. But you can see that this has come out beautifully. You can make these in a wide range of colors and choices of like little bundles, however. This will be in our Etsy shop in the As Seen on YouTube section. I will create a few different ones, probably starting about, maybe a 6-pack. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But this video will be up before those are live and up in the store. But if you would like some and you don't want to make them yourself, or you don't know how to, and you don't really want to make it and gift it without having some practice, which is understandable, send me a message on Magically Eclectic. Just hit the contact seller button and I will do what I can for you. Just because the digital item is the only thing that is available right now does not mean that I'm not taking requests for orders. So I will go ahead and leave this off here. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed, and may your path always be right for you. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.